Introduce to you our speaker, Caitlin Renteria. She's here. I wanted her to come out and speak specifically because she is truly the American dream. She is born and raised here in the Rio Grande Valley, and she is a published author. And so you are in the presence of greatness. So I'm going to pass it over to Caitlin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Caitlin Renteria, and I'm very grateful for that introduction. You're very, very nice. But before I begin, I'd just first like to give a very, very large thank you to Miss Norma Sepulveda, not only for inviting me to this event, but this event in and of itself is a wonderful reflection of the fact that, youth and young adults. I think it's wonderful that she's advocating the fact that, the youth is the future. But in order to show them that they have choices that can begin shaping their communities now, and as they grow, they can see the process and they can make their own decisions and work together to one day take those positions in our community and in our homes and, become the future themselves. So I'm very grateful to be a part of that and share a little bit of my story. Thank you very much. And so I am a local author. I was born and raised here in Harlingen. This has always been my home. And a majority of my schooling was done in Harlingen campuses. And I am a product of, it no longer is Early College High School. It is now Harlingen Collegiate High. But I graduated high school in 2018, and I am now 21 years old, so I'm fresh out in the world, I'd like to think. But a big, big part of my life from a very young age that my parents saw and they nurtured it and they instilled it in me was that of reading and writing. I was the student and the little girl that everyone else wanted Barbie dolls. I wanted Hello Kitty notebooks. And when I wanted to go to the library, they took me to the library. When I wanted to read a book or, most kids have music playing in the car. We had the Hungry Hungry Caterpillar, and I'm sure it drove my parents crazy, listening to stories all the time. And throughout my schooling, I had teachers every single step of the way who saw that small little inkling and saw that small little spark, and they nurtured it, and they encouraged me to write. They wanted to read what I had written, and so my journey to becoming an author was definitely paved with my teachers and my family supporting that, nurturing that every step of the way. But when I was in the 5th grade, there was this little itty bitty switch that flipped, and I was able to see, you know what? I like writing, I like reading, but maybe I can go somewhere with this. Maybe I can take this further than just notebooks on a shelf somewhere, and let's see. And so what happened was I had a reading and language arts teacher by the name of Kevin Veselik, and he had seen me that I was always like to write, and I'd always like to read and things, and one day he pulled me aside and said, hey, I'm the sponsor for the Ready Writing competition at school. Would you like to, join? You can go and compete. You'll write an essay, and, they'll tell you if you got first place, second place, third place. Want to give it a try? And at 10 years old, I looked at him and I smiled and I said, no. Because the thought of, 10-year-old me going and having my work be judged by a grown-up, and that was such a scary thought. But he encouraged me, my parents encouraged me, and they said, you never know if you don't try. That has been a recurring theme all throughout my journey of just, a surefire, absolute way to fail is to never try in the first place. So I remember going to the practices, attending the event, and when I got there, I was absolutely shocked and quaking in my boots to find out that this wasn't a 5th graders versus 5th graders competition. This was 5th graders, 6th graders, 7th graders, and 8th graders. So 10-year-old me was very scared and took the first opportunity I saw to try to run away. But again, through the support of my parents and my teachers, they said, no, you never know if you don't try. So I walked into the competition room, I wrote the essay, and 8 hours later, I found out that I got first place in that writing competition. Wow. And thank you. And at 10 years old, my life changed forever to say, you know what, I did that. It was scary, it was difficult, but I love writing so much, and I persevered, and look what happened. So from then on, I was writing stories and showing my parents, and I was showing my teachers, and I was showing my friends, and I was saying, how can I write and get better? And so at the age of 14, a particular idea flitted into my mind, and it just kept picking and picking and growing, and I finished that particular story at the age of 15, and when I was 16 years old, a sophomore in high school, I published my novel, The Other Side of the Law. So a dream of mine ever since I was little, if you asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? I would say, oh, I want to be an author. So to accomplish that as a sophomore in high school was absolutely amazing, and I give all the credit to my parents for encouraging that and seeing that. So a big part of my story and what I'd like to share and advocate is it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter what that dream is that you'd like to achieve, especially if you're young and there's a certain, they say rose-colored glasses, right? Where you think, oh, obstacles, we can overcome them. And it's sad that as we get a little bit older, we start to think, oh, but reality sets in. Like, absolutely not. There's always going to be obstacles. There's always going to be those mountains that we have to overcome, but you have no idea what's waiting on the other side and what rewards are there for you if you continue to persevere and pursue and achieve. Not even a year after the book had been published, I was still excited, right? I was like throwing it at people on the street and I was saying, I wrote a book, read it. I actually hit one of those obstacles where my publishing company closed. And for an author to lose your publishing company is the scariest thing in the world, because you no longer have that place that's going to, produce the book and get it in people's hands, and that's a scary thing. And I had that support again from my family saying, well, it's up to you. Do you want to keep trying? We'll keep trying, we'll help you. Or we can just, put that on the shelf, and we had a good run. But I felt like I owed it to myself and to my story that, you never know if you don't try. Let's just see what happens again. So after a lot of rejection letters, and after a lot of not right now, and after a lot of, well, maybe try submitting next year, I finally found a company in Colorado that allowed me to self-publish, and we brought The Other Side of the Law back to life, and it was amazing. And right before the book was going to be republished and out in the world, it received the Silver Book Award from Literary Classics Book Awards. And they are an organization that reviews books from all over the world. And they give, a medal or seal of approval and things. And this award would not be in that nice little shiny circle on the cover if that day at the dinner table was just, well, we had a good run, everyone. It's one of those things that these obstacles that come are tests. And they're to see, can we get past this to receive that award and continue to better ourselves and continue to do great things. And that never stops. Life is a huge learning process. Life is always going to be giving you those little bumps, but you surround yourself with people that are going to support, surround yourself with people that are going to advocate for you. And again, very big thank you to Ms. Norma Sepulveda for showcasing this, especially to young adults and the high schoolers and the people, starting their path in life, because, going through high school is rough in and of itself, and then starting college and starting life, you don't have all the answers. And it's wonderful to have your parents, it's wonderful to have teachers, it's wonderful to have people to fall back on, but sometimes we forget that there are people in the community trying to make things better for us and trying to help and support. And so having someone like Ms. Norma Sepulveda provide that foundation, continue to support, even in ways we may not see immediately, is absolutely amazing. So again, thank you so very much for having me, and I hope my story added a little bit of inspiration or a little just brightness to this evening. So thank you for your time.
A moment for me to just kind of reflect on the potential that we have for our kids here in the Rio Grande Valley, in the city of Harlingen. You can do anything that you want to do in life, and she's living, proof that that's possible. I wanted to take a few minutes because I know we've got a couple of, we have some of the teenagers here, we have some high school students, and most 17, 18, 45, 50. But I wanted to tell you one thing, if you take anything from this, if you are a young adult and you're 18 years old, think about how you might feel the last 18 years of your life, right? You feel like you took forever to get to 18, and I know you're so excited because you're going to be able to, you're going to be able to vote, and you're going to be able to leave the house, you're going to go to college, you're going to have your own place, you're going to get out there in the world and start working and doing all the things that you do as a young adult. But keep in mind one thing. these long 18 years of your life, we've had the same leadership in the city of Harlingen. That entire time. So since you were born till today, we've had the same leadership in the city of Harlingen. So what you know of the city of Harlingen is the only thing that you know because we've had the same leadership. We don't know anything different. Those of us that are a little older, like the ones in the back and your parents, and we know a different Harlingen. We know a Harlingen that was more vibrant, a Harlingen that had more to offer when we were younger, when we were your age. But for you guys, this is all you know. But one cool thing about this is that you guys have the power, the ability to change that. Because if every single teenager, every 18-year-old in the city of Harlingen were to get out and vote on May 7th, you guys would decide who's going to be the next mayor of Harlingen. That's it. So if you want things in the city, I know Eric tells me, there's nothing to do here. I wish there was a racetrack. I wish there was more things to do. I wish, we had places to go. If you want that, then be part of the solution. Be part of that change. Get out there and vote. You do not get to complain if you don't get out there and do your part. So those of you that registered to vote, we all thank you. We all thank you for that. But registering is not enough. You have to get out and vote. The last election in 2019, less than 3,000 people for the city of Harlingen came out to vote in total. Less than 3,000. Made a decision on who was going to be the mayor of this town, who were going to be your commissioners. All of those things are important. And you have the ability, you and your friends and your families get to decide who's going to be the leadership in this town. So that is a fundamental right that you have, and it, you get to decide whether you're going to take the responsibility and get out there and vote, or you're going to sit on the sidelines and 18 years from now maybe have the same leadership, right? Because we don't get out there and do what we need to do. So just wanted to leave you with that. And then we also, of course, if you haven't come and gotten something to eat, something to drink, please do that. Again, I'm Norma Sepulveda. Most of the people here I know personally, so I won't bore you with my story because it compares nothing to Caitlin. But for the young kids, this is for you. Tonight is for you. I just want to leave that with you so that way you know that the future of our city is in your hands. See what you do with that. Thank you.